Yay Networks.
Oh, I didn't see that she got all of me. Oh, nerve. What happened, girl?
All over the chair and your leggings and your stomach. Mamas, you're not going to be a guest on the podcast anymore.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Spill the Beans podcast.
Happy Thursday if you're listening to it. I just want to say we are in the new studio.
Oh my God, you guys.
We're not even going to tell you anything, so you can go watch the video tomorrow. But happy Friday if you're here watching. As you can see, our studio is beautiful. It's really gorgeous. It has a lot of work to do, honestly. And we do apologize because last week we were like, oh yeah, next week, new studio. And we really can get it done in like 2 days, right? Don't you think?
No.
No?
When's the last time either you or me put wallpaper up?
Well, I mean, we can request the help of our families. So if we request, we will get it done in 2 weeks, guys. But if you can hear a little bit of emotion over here, Jonathan is putting Belen to sleep.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard because it's her first time here at the office and it's hot and she's just not used to being out of her environment, really. So,
as you guys just saw by the beginning,
oh yeah,
she just threw up in Social Blanca. And honestly, we're like in this little room where all the windows are and it's really hot. So we're having second thoughts of putting the podcast like where it was intended, like right where we're at. I think we're going to move vibing into this little space and then the podcast over there because it's just way too hot here.
Yeah, honestly, the lighting here is perfect, but I just think that the size is a little bit awkward. And I think that we can just put all of our inventory in here, leave the office and like fulfillment space in there, and then do a corner of it to be the podcast. But basically, you guys guessed right in last week's podcast, we do have Aji's Elite Designs designing our podcast studio owned by Gabby and Gabe, and she's just sketching up some things and she's going to send over everything that we need. So as soon as we have all of that, we're going to get our butts to work. And I don't want to say much, but hopefully by next week we'll have the podcast studio ready.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. We have a whole week to work on it, but yeah, we're so excited, guys. Finally, we're going to have our podcast, and it's just nice to know that we're never going to have to pack it up again, you know?
And also the weather, like, I feel like the government does this shit on purpose. Like, it makes the weather bad on the weekends.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, the people, like, everyone can work during the week and keep the economy going. And then it's like, okay, we're going to make the weather horrible on the weekends. That way people don't go out or, like, you know? Which sucks. Because we couldn't move the furniture because it was raining, like, so it would have gotten wet in the back of the truck.
And our community had a community garage sale, and we were so excited getting things out for it. And then Jonathan's like, wait, it says it's going to thunderstorm all day tomorrow. And sure enough, all Saturday, there was a thunderstorm. We didn't do anything. It was kind of depressing, to be honest.
Yeah, and I remember when I worked construction, it would be like Monday through Thursday, and it would be so, like, scorching hot, and I'd be like, I can't wait. I don't even know how to swim, but I can't wait. This weekend I want to jump into a pool, like 100%. And it would just be cloudy and rainy, like all weekend. It's like, nah, like the government can control the weather, and I'm sure they make it on bad on purpose on weekends.
Yeah, honestly. But guys, we do have a little bit of an update because if you're listening to this on Thursday or Friday, you still have a little bit of time to let you know that we are restocking God Goes Glowing and Growing today. So make sure you are on top of that. This podcast does go live at 6:30 a.m. on Friday, so the restock won't be until 11 a.m. Mountain Time on Friday. So you still have a little bit of time. We're not catching you off guard too bad, but we'll announce it.
But those that listen to it on Thursday have a big advantage.
Yeah,
those are the perks that come with
make sure
listening
you're following
to it on
us
Spotify.
on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and please give us a 5-star rating.
Yeah, I didn't even know about that, but we checked our podcast the other day. And it has like 5 stars and like a few reviews. I was like, oh, thank you guys. Like, we never asked for it before, but it's solitos, you guys did it. So that meant a lot.
So please keep doing those 5-star ratings and give us a little review over there. I do think that this year is going to be a year where we're going to amp up the podcast in the sense that we're going to get a new picture going and also a new logo, like a better aesthetic logo, because right now it's just kind of, you know, a funky one. So
yeah, I think the podcast, like, it's going. But you guys know, like, if you're an OG listener, you know it's on pause slightly Like, if that makes sense. Like, it's going, but it's on pause. Like, the full potential is not there yet right now, because obviously babies are the biggest blessing in the world, but they do hold you back sometimes. So I think they hold you back if you want to be held back. Like, we are determined to be good parents, right?
Yeah.
So, like, could we leave, our kids all day with your mom? Could we, do this and that with, or send Franco with my parents and then Belen with your mom? Could we do that? But we choose not to. And, like, Belen's, like, right here with us,
Yeah.
She could easily be at home or with someone else while Franco's with your mom. But we're like, no, we really want to enjoy these last potentially few months as a baby forever.
Oh, yeah. I think something that I was thinking about the other day is having a second kid is just bittersweet in the sense that with Franco, obviously we were so anxious, right? And right now I was changing her on the floor of our podcast studio, which I was like, dang, it's probably really dirty. I don't know, And I was like, I wish I could have experienced this with him, because with him, I feel like we were so on edge. Like, everything has to be sparkly clean and we can't take him out.
Well,
and
you, babe.
Yeah, I was super, super on top of like everything, and I didn't want to take him out anywhere, and I didn't want to change his diaper anywhere. And I was like, it was nice in that time, but now that I think about it was just anxiety filled. And now with her, I'm like, let's take her everywhere. I'm gonna wear her. I'm gonna lay her on the floor, And yeah, it's just a little bit bittersweet. So I don't know. I feel like now that we have her, we just want to have both of them everywhere with us. And it changes your life completely, guys. So that is why you see her on the podcast as our third co-host.
Yeah, we literally have a year to decide. We are probably like 70% right now. Franco's going to be homeschooled.
Mm-hmm.
But then we're like, oh, what about the language barrier, babe? Like, at least if he goes to school, he can speak English over there and then Spanish at home. But like, if you homeschool, how do you, tell him to like, hey, schoolwork's done, vamos a hablar español,
Yeah.
So that's going to be confusing on his little brain. But then, all the stories in the news, like, it's so freaking scary to send them to school nowadays. And you never know. And especially, like, I don't know. I feel like each state has their own trauma. And I know there's shootings in every state and everywhere. But for those that don't know, Colorado, we're never on the news really for much. But for some reason, Colorado has a lot of school shootings.
Yeah.
If you guys, or just shootings in general, if you guys are aware of the Aurora Mall movie theater one, Columbine High School, that one's like really famous, and just a lot here and there. So I don't know. We're just, I guess Coloradans are just a little bit more traumatized. I'm sure as like people in Cali and Texas and stuff, but yeah. So that's like a big fear of us is letting him go to school. But yeah, we don't know yet.
Yeah, it's just like the strangers, just sending him into a strange environment with a bunch of strangers and a bunch of kids that you don't know how they're being raised. I am leaning towards homeschooling. I actually watched a podcast of homeschool versus private school, and the guy, Kristen and John had said, I think that the perfect thing is to be homeschooled from kindergarten to 8th grade and then public school from high school, like for high school, because you get to experience like a bunch of high school things.
Yeah.
So I think that would be my perfect ideal school thing for kids, especially like for me it's scary because after 5th grade, like who the heck is going to teach them math, because I don't know anything. But I'm like, that's why I have Jonathan. He can do the math lessons, because other than that, I think I got it pretty down.
And then you, like, I know we talk about this all the time, like, if you're planning on having kids, have dogs first. But you learn so much from dogs, guys, like when you want to parent, like little things, obviously. But one of them being is that we used to take Ozo all the time, and Ozo and Chai, but mostly Ozo, to the dog park, right? Mm-hmm. And we noticed that Ozo is a very well-behaved and trained dog. But then when he would go to the dog park, he would start like acting bad, like rebelling, just humping, not listening to me. And it was very weird because he always listens to me. So then you hear TikToks like, yeah, dog parks are actually bad. Like your dog picks up mannerisms and behavior from other, because obviously not everyone trains your dog as well as you are, So if you go to the dog park and there's a bad behaved dog, your dog's want to act like that. So now that it kind of like translates to kids, so say we can raise Franco to do all this and say thank you and por favor and all, but then if he goes to preschool and sees a kid like, like this kid cries and and whines all day and he gets what he wants, I'm gonna do that at home when I get home, you know?
Yeah, I think that's scary. It's the not knowing what crowd he goes into, you know?
Yeah.
So if we can, I'm not saying we want to control it, but I'm saying is if we can take a control on his education, that would be amazing, because homeschool is like for 2 hours a day. And then there's so many groups and like clubs and sports that he can do after that. Like he learns sportsmanship and, you know, having friendships and socializing. So that is my perfect world. Right now, as we say, we just talk out of our ass because we don't really know what the heck is going to happen. But I think that that's what we're going to end up doing. And yeah, it's going to be a little bit harder. I feel like with 2 kids, you just pour so much into them that work kind of gets put on the back burner. But I guess for now, that's just how it is.
And then everything falls into place, or like we're like, oh, we're talking about homeschooling. And then I started going to the chiropractor, and out of all the ones in Longmont, we choose this one. And the doctor and his wife actually homeschool their kids, their 3 kids. And I started talking to them about it and stuff like that. And they're like, yeah, it's amazing because, you know, they have to take electives and, you know, main courses or whatever. So for PE, like the girls, like say Franco was going to do soccer regardless if he was homeschooled or public school, PE counts, or soccer practice counts as PE. Or going to the where you know those pottery places where kids play, that counts as art, you know? So it's not like, it's so cool. Like there's so many options that just teach them real life. Or like she was telling me that she takes her daughter's grocery shopping with her. Like it's something she has to do, right?
Yeah.
But that she's the one that she gives them the money, and then she takes out in cash, no credit card or anything like that. And then she has to count the money, count the, you know, and that's math.
Wow, that's so nice. See, like there's so many options, and like Jonathan was saying, how do you even go about that? It's like you basically just go to the school or the district, I think, and you ask for the curriculum and you just pick which one you want to teach. And obviously they have to get evaluated every so often. So you can honestly just do whatever to teach them real life stuff while also educating them in the school sense, you know? This show is sponsored by BetterHelp.
Babe, I have to get something off my chest. Even though our life has been so joyful recently, babe, I think my mental health can be a little bit better.
We all carry around different things that stress us out, big and small, and after a while, they can start to really affect us in a negative way.
And therapy is there to be a safe space to release that negativity and figure out how to work through the things that are weighing you down.
Damn, babe, breathe. I love therapy because I really get an unbiased opinion on everything that I'm feeling, especially now that I'm a mom of 2.
Yeah, sometimes as a man, you really don't feel heard. So it's really nice to have a third person's view and opinion on the matters going on in our life.
If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It is entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule.
Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Get it off your chest with BetterHelp.
Visit betterhelp.com/spillthebeans today to get 10% off your first month.
That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/spillthebeans.
If you guys follow us, it's so funny that I was talking the other day with my viewers, like on my channel, and I had said April 1st was the day that I was going back to work. And did I go back to work? Because I was really looking at my videos, and all of them have been sponsored. Like all my last 3 videos have been sponsored, and I just wanted to address it here because you guys know you're my tight-knit family, that you guys don't really judge us that much. And I just wanted to say thank you because you guys put me in this position. And also it's like, this is part of the job, you know, like when you're watching a show or when you're watching anything, like it's really rare that it's ad-free unless you're paying extra for it, you know?
If you're just watching TV, it's going to have commercials.
Yeah.
Like no one complains about...
Even TikTok, like you're scrolling and it says ad starting in 3 seconds. I'm like, what the heck? So do I have to pay for TikTok Premium now or what? So I just wanted to say, like, this is what part of the job. This is the part that comes with the job. And we do want to say that we don't accept sponsorships from companies that we don't actually like or work with. So BetterHelp, HelloFresh, what's the other one that Rocket Money. Those are things that I actually genuinely use. So I just wanted to let you guys know. Thank you for supporting me and for writing for me in the comments of my latest YouTube videos. But other than that, I'm going to take a break from sponsorships and just bring you guys more real and raw content again. But
yeah. So same with J&J, like our last 4 videos are going to be Our last 2 have been sponsored, and our next 2 are going to be sponsored. But some of you guys just get it. Like, you're awesome. You know that it's part of the job, you know, and like, why not you don't get mad at like the NFL, or you don't get mad at, you know, Televisa when you see commercials. So why would you, you know? And another thing that comes with that, I also want to say thank you to everyone that buys like merch and stuff, and like our merch or just clothing in general from influencers, not just us, like all our friends, everything. Because there's like this really bad wave going around. It's been on for a while, but also like in general, like people want to cancel influencers, because I get it. Like, people mess up and everyone's like really quick to cancel them. And then I see a lot of in the comments, it's like, yeah, like, and you guys are so dumb for buying their merch and their stuff. Like who even does that anymore? That was so 2016. But it's like, the way I see it, right? Like, cause I buy other people's merch, like other YouTubers I watch, and it's like, they provide content for me to like I'm using quotes that you guys have used, right? Like, based on our videos, it's like, oh my gosh, you guys uploaded, you made my day. I was having a bad day and it just got a little bit better, or a great way to start my morning, or a great day to end my day, you know, something like that. So it's like, why wouldn't you buy something or support a little bit further for someone that truly has an impact like that on your life? Yeah. So this isn't for me to be like, guys, hey, keep buying our merch. No, this is more like, don't listen to the haters, I guess. Don't listen to anyone else that could potentially make you feel bad for buying this kind of stuff. You know, like, if someone makes you happy, even slightly, whether that's a YouTuber, an athlete, something else, and if they change your day for the better, then why wouldn't you? Like, it's not cringy to buy YouTubers merch. It's not cringy to buy certain singers colognes. Like, if Ariana Grande her music genuinely makes you feel better and has maybe helped you gone through some tough moments in your life, right? Then why wouldn't you buy her cologne or her perfume at Sephora? You know what I mean? So just like us, like, if we made you laugh, or you love Franco and you like are gonna buy her sweater and someone's like, that's cringy, bro, like, who even, you know, don't let, you know.
Don't let other people dictate how you live your life. I always make this example because I have my favorite influencer, Kristen, and literally I got a Patreon subscription for her podcast, and I get the podcast 2 days early. And when I got the email today, I was so happy. I was like, I would buy, like, anything that she drops, I buy. And anything she wears, I buy. Anything she links, I'm like, I want to get this because Kristen has it. And, you know, it's just so insane. Like, she linked her little boy's pajamas the other day, and I bought them for Franco. So it's like, it's just crazy. I would never let anyone tell me, like, why are you buying that? It's like, she makes me happy, and it provides entertainment for me. And when I'm winding down at the end of the day, when I'm showering and like getting ready for bed, I have their podcast on because I genuinely love it, you know? So yeah, don't let other people that are not happy dictate how you live your life. It's so funny. I got a hate comment the other day on my TikTok, and I every time I get a mean comment, I click on their profile to see if they maybe make TikTok so I can see who I'm dealing with. And tell me why this girl, I think it was my Beekeeper's Naturals TikTok, and she like said, oh, you're not selling me on this ad, whatever. And so I click on it, and tell me why her TikTok is her trying to be an influencer. Like, she's making videos like if she was an influencer, right? So I'm like, how are you hating on something that you want to be? Like, when you start getting sponsorships, you're like, oh shit, like, I made it, you know, like, this is insane. So I don't know. I feel like most people like that are just unhappy, you know, and you just have to learn how to block them out, because that's basically what we had to learn.
Yeah. Nobody's perfect, guys.
Yeah.
Like, we wish, like, I wouldn't call ourselves like OGs yet or anything like that, but we've been doing YouTube for a while. So when we see like the new up and coming, like, we've been through the wave of Shoddy Bay, we've been through the wave of Wilito and now Benji, and all the time, like, we wish them nothing but the best. Like, we've messaged Wilito. I messaged Wilito before.
I messaged Benji
for the podcast and stuff like that. And if they don't respond, cool. They're on a high horse, you know, we get it. But, you know, you always wish them the best, because no one's perfect. I told Blanca, I was like, you know, we're praying, like, we're like, hopefully Benji never, like, you know, algo, like, either his character changes or something, he says something wrong, because people are quick, you know?
Yeah, but you know what I saw the other day? A girl on TikTok, she's like, trust me, I love the Benji wave, and I love all the supporters she's getting. She's like, but I'm here to tell you guys that you better not Like if when he gets a good car, when he buys his parents a house, y'all better not be like, oh my God, you changed. Because that's literally what we're rooting for him to do. Like we want him to buy his parents a house. We want him to get a good car, you know? So it's like when he does those things, you can't be like, oh, you changed, because he didn't change his personality. If he didn't, you know, because who knows? But you can't be telling him just because of the materialistic things that he was able to buy with our support, you know. And I say our because I sent him my first TikTok gift the other day.
Way.
It was like a rose. It's like a cent. But I'm like, dang, what? You could do this? It was so funny because I was actually watching him on TikTok live, and it's hard for me to watch him on live because it's always on For You page, like other people posting his screen recordings. And I remember I was like, you know what? I'm just going to see how this TikTok gifting works. So I think it's for... oh my gosh, I don't even know. $4.99, you buy 300 coins. Damn. And with those coins, you buy gifts to send them. And so I bought $4.99. I don't even remember how many coins there are really, but I started sending him a rose and I was like, oh, this is so cool. And then I had like 340 left. So then yesterday I'm like scrolling through TikTok and a live pops up on my For You page of this mom that's going live with her son and he's like disabled. And I was like, what the heck? So I like clicked on it and I just sent her all my coins. I was like, here you go, all my gifts. And she was so happy because people were sending her coins, and it's just basically to like save up money for her treatments, her son's treatments. And I was like, period, queen, like this is where my money's gonna go, you know. So I don't know, it's just like TikTok has opened up such a world where for Benji's viewers, like we grew up in houses that look like his, you know, and it's just so nostalgic, and we want to see him buy his parents a house, and we genuinely love his mom and his dad because they're just so funny, and you can tell why he is the way he is, you know. So yeah, I thought that was a really good take that the girl made. She's like, y'all better not switch up on him when he starts doing everything that we're rooting for him to do, you know. But yeah, guys, I don't know, I feel like just being in the influencer world is crazy, and we love to like sit on the podcast and tell you guys how we feel and how it is behind the scenes. Yeah,
guys, we've had this podcast for a long time now, and it's like nice to have this separate channel to unwind. Yeah, you can right away tell like who's new here or who just comes for like the tea and stuff. But you guys know, like people that have been here for a while, you know, there's no real tea. This isn't what the podcast is about. But yeah, we can't wait to get back on it. Like I feel like I want to start having all the guests update all our friends that had babies, that are new parents, or just that we haven't seen in a while, you know, because I feel like a lot of our friends have taken different paths recently, like in terms of businesses, moving, just overall. So we can't wait to have like an update with everyone, and then like start bringing maybe your mom and my mom.
I think you guys are really requesting a Mother's Day episode, so I think we're gonna we'll give you guys two, since we celebrate both American and Mexican Mother's Day. We can do 2 episodes, one with my mom, one with Jonathan's mom, so that we can get to know them a little bit more, you know. We've had your mom on the podcast before, but it was more like therapy wise, and now we'll just get to know her and all her journey, or where her journey has brought her. So yeah, that's coming too, and just a bunch of things, guys. Hopefully you guys like where it's heading, but we're just waiting to be settled into our studio, because right now you obviously see we have nothing. This is just a plain blank wall, and you'll see everything else probably next week.
But since we might be filming those podcasts here soon, guys, go follow the Spill the Beans podcast, JJ, on Instagram, because I think that's where we're going to put the polls to ask our mom's questions. So if you really want to know something about my mom or Blanca's mom specifically, you can go and like ask there when we put the questions, and that way your question is answered, you know, because that would be a good idea, babe. Like how'd you came, because it's like crazy that our moms are like friends now, you know, but they both got here very differently, you know, like your mom got here one way, my mom did the other, and like now they're just in separate things in life, but
like they came together because of their children,
and they were both pregnant at the same time in different places in Durango, you know. Isn't that crazy?
And we were both born in Durango, 2 hours away from each other,
but then we met here,
and we're meant to be. All right, guys, well, we're gonna go ahead and reel it back in. You guys know that we started this podcast to do some advice questions.
Babe, wait, what if the string theory is like real? For those that don't know, go on TikTok and look up string theory. Like the inevitable is gonna happen. So say like I feel like we would have met, like, since we're soulmates, because 2 hours away, like, come on, like let's say you didn't come to the US and I didn't either. Fuck it. Like I'm in San Luis, but like my grandparents go frequently to Durango. So what, like say like you would have gotten like a job, I don't know, at a restaurant, and we went to that restaurant, or like let's say you came but I didn't, but then you would go, like
Yeah.
I think,
or like you go anyways every summer and every December. So
yeah,
like, we're bound to meet somehow.
that would have been cool. That's like
That
a
would've been
movie.
crazy. That would be like our book written in a different way,
Yeah.
But anyways, guys, we're going to reel it back in with an advice little segment because, that's what we started our podcast. And we are no experts. We're no therapists. We don't have our PhD in therapy. Is that even? Can you get a PhD in therapy?
PhD.
But you guys like to see, like to hear our perspective. And we're not here to judge. We're not here to tell you, oh, you have to do this and this. We're just giving you a outsider's opinion and perspective on your life. So I have 2 today. Again, if you guys ever want to send any advice questions, go to Spill the Beans JJ on Instagram and just shoot us a quick DM and let us know. But I have one from the DMs and one from the email. So I'll start with the one from the DMs. It says, "Hi Blanca and Jonathan, I'm a silent watcher here. Kind of weird for me to type this, but I need some advice. My boyfriend and I have been together for 3 years. Our relationship is really healthy, although recently we've had our first big fight. He's had a girl best friend I had no issue with as long as she respected our relationship. She's always given me those weird vibes that she secretly likes him, and I could be wrong. She's overstepped boundaries by asking him to go to a festival with her and to pick her up from towns over. Recently, I found out that she speaks very poorly of me to my boyfriend and gossips about me to other girls. My boyfriend has never put a stop to it, not wanting to risk losing that friendship. I told him I was not comfortable with her being around anymore and I didn't want him being friends with her. Was that toxic? Yes, maybe so. I do admit that. Now they are not on speaking terms and he blames me for losing that friendship. Help."
Dang.
What's your take, honey bunch?
I mean, obviously, like what comes to our head, like our mind right away, like once you're in a relationship, friends go out the window. I think like in terms of like
Opposite
who you're
sex?
supposed to listen to, like whose feelings come first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're like, why wouldn't he date that best friend if they're so good? But you know what I mean? So like you have to come first and everything. But then granted, the only doubt in me is like, I just because you haven't lived through an experience doesn't give you like us the right to necessarily like, I don't know, just because neither you or I can relate, we just
I think we
can't.
can relate, honey bunch.
We've had best friends.
I mean, when we first started dating.
But I don't think we've ever had like a diehard like this. It seems like they've been friends. Like let's say childhood, she's like a sister to me type thing, and it's like we can't experience it. But then your sister doesn't really like you, like doesn't give off vibes that she should like you, and if she's getting that from the friend, then that's not.
Yeah.
Scratch my back real quick. Oh my god, thank you.
I think that the red flag here is just that she speaks poorly of you to him and to other girls.
Definitely.
I feel like obviously you had no problem prior to this, so it's not like you one day woke up and said, "Hey, I don't want you to be friends with with this girl anymore." It's you found out that she speaks poorly of you, that she gossips about you, and that she kind of oversteps boundaries with him. So obviously you have 3 reasons right there why you don't want him to be friends with her. And I would just say flip the script. Like, how would he feel if you were doing this to him and you had a boy best friend that asked you to go to a festival, that asked you to go pick him up from another town in the middle of the night? Like that'd be kind of strange vibe. So in my eyes, I don't think that you are being toxic because you've been together with him for 3 years. It sounds like the relationship is pretty serious. And the reasonings you have behind asking him not to be friends with her are really serious. So I think that it's kind of a red flag that he's mad and that he blames you for it. Because why wouldn't he be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, babe. Like, yeah, you're right. I shouldn't talk to her because she spoke poorly of you. And I have to put you on a pedestal because you're my girlfriend and I love you."
Yeah.
So that's just our take.
I think that girl's giving me like maybe she does see him as a brother, and you know how like generally the stereotype is like
brothers have toxic
sisters that don't like you because you'll never be enough for your brother or whatever. So maybe she's like that's why she's talking shit of you, because maybe he thinks he can do better, which is bad. I'm just saying, I'm not trying to defend her. I'm just saying like he need like put him in your shoes. Like what the heck?
Yeah. Regardless, it's a red flag that he's mad, period. So you are your feelings are absolutely valid and understandable. So just talk to him and be like, hey, if you want her to be your best friend so bad, that's not going to run with me. If you want to end things, then that's crazy. Like, if that's a deal breaker for him, you know where you stand, girl.
Yeah.
And it sounds kind of harsh, but it's true in a sense. Please update us and see if you can knock some sense into him.
Tell her to get a man and then see if,
if he's going to let her be best friends with your mans. You never thought about that, huh? All right. This next one is from the email. It says, hi, guys. I just wanted to tell you that I've been hearing your podcast from the beginning on Spotify. Oh, Spotify queen. And so far, I'm loving your podcast. Anyways, I wanted to see if y'all could give me advice on this situation. So me and my hubby have been married for 2 years and 6 months. And my problem with him is that he doesn't help around the house. What do I mean by that? Well, from the time we've been together, he's never helped me clean or do any chores related to our home. There's times where he helps a bit in the kitchen by cooking something small, for example, making like a rice or frying something. That frustrates me, and I've told him that I don't think it's fair that I do all of that, and plus I work as well. He's the type of person that if I don't have dinner ready, he just waits for me to start. I've told him that just because I have an office job and his job is more laborious. Is it laborious or laborious? Yeah. I don't think it should be left for me since I'm working too. His excuse is that... Oh, sorry. His excuse when I told him that was that he pays for all the big bills and I only pay for the small ones. I get it, but I feel since we both live at the house, he should help me a little more. Also, there's times where he be staring at girls' asses when they walk by, and that makes me really upset. It makes me wonder if he even has an idea of how that makes me feel. There's times where I wonder if I'm asking too much. Please keep me anonymous. Any advice would be truly appreciated. Love you guys and congratulations on your baby girl.
That last part was a curveball.
I know. Thank you so much, girl. We love you so much. And oh my God, come on, babe. Tell her how you feel.
Girl. No, like I'm gonna be a girl's girl right here, a guy's girl, and like, come on, like if you split bill, like I'm old school like that, okay? And come for me, I don't care. But if you're gonna split bills, like, I mean, if he's gonna make you split bills, like he should do half of the work at home. Like that's crazy. Like. I'm still from the time, like, I've said it before, if YouTube didn't exist, I would find a way to make Blanca still a stay-at-home mom and then not even touch one bill. So, and I can say that confidently and proudly, like, that's just who I am. And you can be like, oh, you never know, Jonathan. No, like, I do know. And I just know that I wouldn't accept anything less. So the fact that, like, I don't know, like, some guys, like, just because, like, your job is... Like for me personally, I think that's bullshit because I left my car salesman job because it was more mental and I decided to go into a hard landscaping job. So just because you're at an office job doesn't mean it's not hard work. Like you're probably mentally drained from all day because, you have to work with your brain maybe a little bit more. And construction, it's sometimes even more just like muscle memory. Oh, you do this every day. You do that at a different location. But it's the same thing. Your arms, your legs, you kind of know what you're going to do that day, So I'm not saying it's not hard either, but like this stigmatism or this stereotype of, is that a word?
It's a stigma. I think
this stigma or like stereotype that, oh my God, my hubby's so tired. Viene todo sucio. Guys, I know guys that would like, right before their shift would end and construction, ya tenían, I was still like with Blanca, no kids, I was young. These guys se revolcaban en el suelo because they would be too clean, so their wife would think they were working super hard.
And you never told me that.
Where we were cut, like we would use a saw to cut concrete. Todo el polvito que queda, like they would grab it from the ground and then rub it on their boots and their like jeans because they're too clean, Sometimes like that's what I'm saying, like, shout out to all the guys. I'm sorry if I'm exposing some secrets out there, but at the end of the day, I'm all for like a healthy marriage. So, or sometimes like the dirt your man might have on his jeans is just from like laying on like the work truck all day, not waiting for like a job to start, Sometimes that's what construction is. So I'm just saying, like, never let a man like belittle you. Oh, you have an office job. Oh, you work at a clinic. Your job isn't hard. Like, no, your heart is probably harder mentally, Like, so, get your part of the cake. Like, don't pay any bills. Like that's stupid. If he's not gonna help, then hey, I'm not gonna pay anything. Like, you don't help. Like being a mom or being a wife in general is a job hard enough,
Yeah, and to answer your question, no, you are not asking for too much. That is just kind of the bare minimum. If both of you live at the house, both of you pay bills, both of you work, the least he can do is help you out a little bit more, help you get dinner started, help you wash the dishes, clean the bathroom, wipe after himself, It's just... it's hard that a lot of these men were raised in that mentality. And it can be just because of how they were raised and how the example that they have at home. But these men are old enough. Like, if Jonathan hadn't been raised in a household where he was expected to do chores, where he saw that his dad and his mom both cooked and cleaned, then I would have had to be like, hey, babe, like, I need you to start helping me around the house, you know? But you're also old enough to be like, hey, I should probably start helping around the house. Like, sometimes it's, esta no se hacen, but you are old enough to know, like, shit gets dirty, I should clean. You know, not expect, everything gets dirty, I should just let my wife clean because she's a wife and that's her duty. Like, she's your wife, not your servant, you know? So, yeah, you're not asking for too much, girl. You're just asking for partnership. And that's what you decided when you were getting married. A partnership, right?
Yeah. And then in regards to the whole ass looking part, it depends, like, how, like, are you, like, how young you are or how old or, like, how many partners you've had before? Because obviously that's not okay, right? But I have friends that are in relationships and they're just, I don't think comfortable is the right word. They just play like that. Like, I've had friends be like, I tell my girl, like, look at that girl. And then the girl's like, you know? Yeah. So it's like, are you, like, in your 30s and then your boyfriend had a girlfriend before you and they played like that? Then I'm not giving him a slip, but then I just think it's something you need to communicate. Hey, I notice it. I'm not stupid. It bothers me. And then he might be like, oh, sorry. It's because I used to, you know, I didn't think it was a big, or, you know.
Yeah.
Or maybe he genuinely like, damn, I didn't know she would caught on. I'm dumb, you know.
Yeah, that's kind of sus vibes. I do, like how you're saying, I do know people like that joke around that way. But if your wife is telling you, hey, this makes me real uncomfortable, it bothers me when you look at other girls' asses and make it obvious in front of me, all you have to do is say, okay, I'll stop. No, it's not that, it's because I'm just doing it playfully. Oh, it doesn't matter. Like, you know, like, just stop. So it's just, in that sense, just tell him, maybe maybe you think that he knows that you notice it and there hasn't been communication there. So maybe just by you sitting down and telling him, hey, I really don't like when you do this, it makes me uncomfortable, then that'll be enough for him to stop. And if it doesn't, then set your foot down and be like, you better stop looking at these girls' asses, period.
Yeah, like, there's some couples nowadays where they look at asses together. Or no, I've heard phrases like different levels of cheating, I guess. Like, or to you, that's like, and then there's other people who are like, oh, you can't cheat just looking. Or there's couples that are even like, flirting isn't cheating. You're not, you know? So it's like, there's just couples that push it and push it and push it to like, where you need to set your foot straight. Because maybe he's talking to his buddies at work and they're like, yeah, another coworker he might have is like, yeah, my girlfriend's so chill. She lets me do all this. Because I was that guy, guys. I would go to work and I would talk to my friends and they'd be like, yeah, my girlfriend lets me. And I was like, yeah, I'd be dead if that was me. So no, thank you. I'm happy with my relationship. I'm happy with the boundaries, because I wouldn't want my wife, you know, staring at this like super buff dude or whatever the case may be, you know. So it's like, you got to show respect. Yeah,
just respect each other's boundaries and let him know, hey, do you want me to be staring at guys? Would you like that if you notice that? You know, you just have to kind of play their game and see how a man's mind works, because a veces se hacen y a veces están, como dice Jonathan.
But I feel like this is where, like, this podcast, it's great for advice, but it's also great for all the young girls, young guys, or whatever, whoever watches this that are on the younger side, to really like to you, girl, like, that you submitted this. It's like, what kind of guy, like, did you really not have a hint at all of who this guy was? Because you can pick up on some bad behavior, and to me, that's like nasty. I don't know what other word to use, like dirty behavior for your husband to be looking at another girl's ass in front of you. That to me is like blatantly or disrespectful. Like, si de tiro de perdido, like tratar de despistarla, to try to show you respect. You know, that's another thing, because it's like, okay, it's just his manly urges that he has as much respect, like, to try to despistarla. But if he blatantly stares at them in front of you, that means he has no respect for you as your wife or as a woman. So it's like, you're telling me that when you were dating, you didn't pick up any red flags about this, not this exact behavior, but something that could maybe potentially like
hint that he was like
foreshadow, of stuff like this, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, we're just here to tell you you're not asking for too much and to set those boundaries with him, because in a marriage, I mean, marriages are hard, and the best thing that people tell you is just set boundaries and make sure both of you are coming into an agreement of what you like sign for, what your partnership is. So, yeah, girl, just do it. And everything that you feel is valid and it's understandable, and it is what a marriage should be. If you didn't want any of this, then I mean, I feel like we stopped saying leave him, sis, because we know it's not that easy. But yeah, just kind of, set your foot down and get him right.
And ladies, please, no se embolden. Like, please, like, just because he's 6'2", he's barbón, he's cute, he's funny. Like, please pick up on these cues, because like this girl, I'm sure like the whole fact that like maybe he makes you pay bills and stuff, it's like maybe you went on a first dinner or your second, date night, and he split the bill with you. I know it's like now the social media pushes for half and half, 50-50, but if a man should always pay for the first 100 dates with you, so it's like if he made you pay, or he offered or you offered to split the bill, because girls, you do that, but you always expect the man to say no.
Yeah.
So if he's like, oh yeah, sure, let's split it, then that should have been your first red flag there, that now your bills would have to be split later on, Yeah. So please, ladies, don't, like, you guys deserve the world. So
and never think that you're asking for too much or that your standards aren't high, because some of these men are just looking for someone that is going to let them hit rock bottom with them, basically. So, and then also always remember, when you're dating someone, marriage and kids are not going to make it better. If anything, they're going to make it worse. So just know what you're getting yourself into, and know that marriage is a commitment. And if you don't see yourself with this person for a long time because of the red flags you've seen, it's not worth it, girl. It's not worth the headaches that it's going to give you when you're already married.
Yeah.
But I think that's it for today's podcast, honey. I think we gave them a little bit of advice from our perspective. Of course, if you talk to anybody else, you'll see what they think as well. But that's what J&J Spill the Beans thinks. Ms. Belen probably thinks it too.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you showing so much love and support constantly to our Franquito, to our Belen, and just to our family in general, guys. You guys are so sweet. Just know that it doesn't go unnoticed. So thank you so much.
We love you and appreciate you so much. We hope you have an amazing weekend. And without further ado, hopefully next week you will see us in a new podcast studio.
Later.
Yay Networks.